We are back together once again. I hope you are having a good day today. I hope everything is going the way you want it to go. Here we are on a very windy, unpleasant day. I don't know what's going on with the weather, but today it's decided to be windy and quite wet outside. We were supposed to have some snow, but there is no snow at all, even though they said it was going to snow. Here we are again. It's English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of English, which just happens to be England. Here we are, we're back together. Hi everybody, how are you today? Guess who I am? Well, I think you know. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? Do you have a smile on your face today? I hope you do, because we are back together again. We are live from the birthplace of the English language, and I'm feeling okay, even though I think I might have a cold coming. And I don't need to tell you who I caught the cold from, but I think I might be coming down with something today. I'm not sure what it is, but I do know it's probably not very nice. So my name is Duncan. I talk about the English language. I love English. You might say I'm an English addict. I am crazy about the English language. And I have a feeling that you might be as well. We are back together again. Yes, we were slightly late. You might describe it as a late kick-off. So when something starts later than it should, we can say that it is a late kick-off. And today we did. We had a late start, for which I apologise. But lots of things going on here. The weather is crazy. It's windy. It's cold. But apparently, and this is the strange thing, tomorrow the weather is going to be amazing. It's going to feel like spring tomorrow. And I don't know why, but it's going to be lovely and warm. And of course, we have one more week to go, one more week before that magical time of year. You know what I'm talking about. Christmas is just 1 week away. Are you ready for Christmas? Have you prepared everything? Have you made sure that you have everything in place ready for Christmas? I am going to confess right now, I'm going to tell you now that I have not put the Christmas tree up yet. However, tomorrow we're going to do it, Mr. Steve and myself. We will do it together. We will erect our Christmas tree. We will put it up tomorrow, I promise. And of course, next weekend we are with you. We are going to do some special live streams next weekend. Now, what I'm thinking of doing, and if you like the idea, if you like this idea that I'm about to tell you, please let me know. How about we do a live stream on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. Does that sound like a good idea? Would you like to have myself and Mr. Steve, even though Steve is very doubtful? He's a little sceptical at the moment because he says no one is going to watch on Christmas Day. But I think there will be a lot of people watching on Christmas Day, so we will see what happens. Anyway, we are here and I hope you are having a good day today. It's nice to see you here. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of another week and the end of another weekend because it is Sunday. Sorry, I'm just drinking some water. I have a dry throat. I think it might be because of the studio. I think that might be the reason why. Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it isn't. As you can see, I've gone to a lot of effort today to bring a little bit of the atmosphere because today is the World Cup final. I will say now, I am not a fan of football. I don't really follow football, and nor does Mr. Steve, but I suppose we should get a little bit into the act. I suppose we should get a little bit into the atmosphere of the World Cup as it begins. I do wish Mr. Steve wouldn't clatter around, make so much noise when I'm doing my live stream. It's very annoying. He has no awareness of his surroundings. No awareness whatsoever. So here we are again. Yes, we have made it towards the end of another week and a weekend as well. Are you ready though for Christmas? I wonder who was first on today's live chat. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, very interesting. First, today we have Valentin. Congratulations, Valentin. Well done. You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations to you, Valentin. We also have Claudia. Claudia is also here joining us on the live chat. I wonder what you are making today in your kitchen. Are you cooking something good? Are you cooking something nice in your kitchen? I wonder if you are. I suppose I should ask the question that I ask every single week. What's cooking, Claudia? What have you got in the pot? What's cooking, Claudia? Is it something spicy and hot? Is it something salty or not? Oh, Claudia, what is in the pot? What is in the pot, Claudia? Please let us know today. We always like to know what you are doing. Are you cooking something special next week as well? A lot of people like to eat certain types of food on Christmas Day. So this time next week, it will be Christmas Day and lots of people will be sitting down at around about this time of the day to eat their Christmas lunch. Some people have a late lunch on Christmas Day because normally in the morning there's lots of things going on. So it is not unusual for people to have a late Christmas lunch. And of course, next week it is a historic moment because it is King Charles making his first official speech next weekend. Traditionally, the monarch, the king or queen, will normally give a speech to the nation. It has been the Queen, but of course, sadly, we lost the Queen this year. Queen Elizabeth sadly died, and now we have King Charles. So he will be doing that thing this time next week. Traditionally, it is always at 3 p.m. every Christmas Day. People sit down to listen to the Queen talking and giving her message, but this year it is the King. King Charles will be giving his statement to the nation. His Christmas speech will be coming next week. Hello also to Olga. Hello, Maruts. Nice to see you here as well. Lots of people joining already on the live chat. We also have Gosa, Maria. We have Tomek. Apparently, Tomek wants France to win the World Cup. So that's a question I will be asking you later, so think about it carefully. Which team would you like to see win the World Cup? And we will all be finding out who wins later on, I suppose. Mila is here, Beatrice, We also have Sihem. Hello to you watching in Algeria. Nice to see you here. We also have Monica. We have Bruno. Lots of people joining right now. Nice to see you all here. And of course we have Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you back also on the live chat. I have a feeling perhaps, Luis, you want France to win the World Cup. They are defending their position. Hello to Ken. Hello, Ken. Ken says Argentina. He would like to see Argentina win the World Cup. I wonder what... Oh, Claudia today... Claudia is cooking a cake, baking a cake. So normally when we make a cake, when we put the cake in the oven, we normally say bake. So you bake a cake, you cook food. So today Claudia is baking. But unfortunately, she had a problem with her cake because it did not rise. So quite often when you put your cake in the oven, you need it to rise. Sometimes, though, it doesn't. It doesn't rise. It sinks. It goes the opposite way, unfortunately. Apparently Claudia forgot to put the baking powder in the sponge mix. Okay then. So maybe your cake wasn't successful. What else are you cooking today? Are you cooking something else besides that? Please let me know a little bit later on. Francesca, I'm sorry, but I have to look at the final football game of the World Cup. I will try to follow both, Mr. Duncan. Well, I hope you will stay with me. You can, of course, do both things. So you can watch the TV and you can also have your mobile device in front of you as well. So you can watch this because we do have Mr. Steve coming up a little bit later on. Of course, Mr. Steve will be here. So don't worry, he will be here. Mr. Steve will be with us very soon. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, how disgusting, Mr. Steve. How could you? We also have Flower here today. Hello, Flower. Nice to see you here as well. We have Saturino. We have Mosen. We have Angeles or Angels. I will drink some mates because I'm very nervous. Why are you nervous? Why do you need to drink? Is there a particular reason why you have to do that? Hello, Matt. Matt Lindell. It is very unusual to see you actually here live on my lovely stream, but it's nice to see you here anyway. Normally, Matt leaves lots of messages on my videos, and I do read them. I read them all, even the horrible ones. Even the horrible ones where people say, Mr. Duncan, you have stinky pants and we don't like you. It's okay. It's okay. I know that I cannot be liked by everyone, but some people do like me. Talking of which, you can always give me a like to show how much you like my live streams. Go on, have a go. You might enjoy it. You might actually enjoy it if you try it. Hello also to Ard Zarug watching as well. Nice to see you here. Saturino says, Claudia, I have some advice to save your cake. You can turn the cake into a tart. Yes, I suppose so, because tarts, I hope I can say that, tarts don't need to rise. They just need to bake. So yes, you're all right. Hello also to Jimmy from Hong Kong. Sorry, guys, and Mr. Duncan, we are on the opposite sides of the pitch today. I am more enthusiastic to see Messi finally lift the holy grail of his career. Of course, I think he's playing his last match in the World Cup ever. So I think he is about to retire. So a lot of people are hoping that Messi, M-E-S-S-I, not the other spelling of the word, Messi, hopefully will lift the World Cup. So a lot of people are backing Argentina. Hello also Mila. Hello Anne Tu. Watching in Vietnam. I think you are in Vietnam. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Steve will be here soon. We have lots of things to talk about. We are looking at words and phrases connected to games. Playing the game. Having a good game or a bad game. How do you play the game? When you play the game, sometimes you have to play your hand. You have to show your hand. You have to reveal what cards you are holding in your hand. So we are talking about that as well. Mr. Duncan, I would like to watch a good match, and that is the best. May the best team win. Nowadays it is difficult to watch a good match. The most important thing is to win, is not just to win, but also to play well. I suppose so. We often use the phrase sportsmanship. So if two people play a game fairly and equally, we often say that those people are showing or exhibiting fair play or good sportsmanship. I'm not sure what we say nowadays. Maybe we say sportspersonship. It doesn't sound so eloquent though, does it really, when you think about it? Francesca is here. I am just connecting my tablet, my electronic tablet, so I can follow Mr. Duncan. I hope so. You can watch the football, and if you are distracted by the sport, don't worry. You can always have that on your television, and you can watch me on your mobile phone. So I'm not too worried about that. Don't worry about it. Can I just say how proud I am today? I don't normally say this, but I think today's thumbnail for the live stream might be the best one I've ever made. There it is, look. So there is the thumbnail for today's live stream. You can see Mr. Steve and myself playing football. It looks quite unusual, to be honest. And there is Mr. Steve. I think Mr. Steve is actually saving the ball. He's stopping the ball from going into the net. And also myself looking very fit and healthy as well. So can we just give a round of applause to my thumbnail? Because I think I've done a really good job of that. I actually made this morning. Yes. Oh dear. I spent almost an hour making that thumbnail this morning. Hello also to Mila. Mila is saying hello. We also have Saturino. Lots of people joining now. Nice to see you here. And also Claudia is now going to give her father something to eat. I wish someone would give me something to eat. I'm here in the studio working hard, and no one is bringing any food in for me. Isn't that sad? I wonder what Mr. Steve has bought me for Christmas. I have to say I am a little bit excited to find out what Mr. Steve has bought for me as my Christmas gift. I wonder what it could be. Who would you like to see win today in the World Cup? The match that is taking place. It is the final in Qatar. Some people saying that It should not have been held there. Some people think it was the best World Cup tournament ever. Lots of congratulations being given to the organisers of the World Cup this year. A lot of people saying it was the best one ever. I'm not sure about that. I know there are a lot of political issues surrounding the World Cup. We might talk about that a little bit later. We're also talking about power cuts as well. Apparently there is a chance that some of us might be losing our electricity over the next couple of weeks because the demand for electricity has been very high, and apparently we are running out of energy here in the UK. So we might be getting some power cuts. That is also a subject we are talking about today. Tomek says, please, Mr. Duncan, can you stop talking about food? You are making me feel peckish. Well, you're not the only one, I have to say. I'm also feeling a little peckish as well. Francesca has a favourite for the World Cup. Francesca says, Mr. Duncan, I want France to win. So Francesca is backing France for the World Cup that is taking place today, the final. What is your prediction, Mr. Duncan? My prediction? Well, first of all, can I say that I'm not a football expert, so I don't know everything about football. In fact, some people might say that I know nothing. I know nothing at all about football. But I suppose if I had to choose, I would say probably, I think France will win. I think France will win. It will go right to the end, so I think there might be a draw. I think both teams will have the same goals, maybe 1-1 or 2-2 or 0-0. And so normally it will go into extra time at the end. So I think they will play extra time and maybe there will be some last-minute goal. And I think France will be the winners. I think so. Mosen asks, what does peckish mean? The word peckish means to feel hungry. You want something to eat. Oh, I feel peckish. Suddenly you have an appetite for some food. To have an appetite means you have the desire to eat some food. You feel peckish. You want to eat something, not a huge meal, not a big meal, just some food to satisfy your hunger or your need. So yes, we sometimes say peckish. Peckish means to feel hungry. You feel as if you want to eat something very quickly. Mr. Steve will be here in a few moments. I think we will be talking about football. We are talking about words and phrases connected to games. We are also going to look at other things as well, including the power cuts. Apparently, we are going to lose our electricity over the next few days here in the UK. All of that coming up in a few moments, right after these words.
a big boy now.
So we had a little bit of hot, a little bit of cold. We also had the carols as well. Here we are back together again. And yes, now we are live from the birthplace of the English language, which is England. And yes, you know what's happening next. You do. Yes.
Hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, wonderful viewers from across the world. I say this every week, but it's true.
It is.
Dedicated viewers that are still here, despite the fact that the World Cup final starts in less than half an hour.
So if you are going to watch the World Cup, can we just ask you a little favour? You can have it on in front of you on the television, but also you can watch us on your little mobile device as well at the same time, so you can share the two experiences together, because I believe it is the best way to watch the World Cup.
And, of course, you can tell us the score.
Yes.
Because that's most important. We need to know what the score is. And because we haven't got a monitor here with the TV on, not that we're that interested, but I probably would be watching it, actually. Because, you know, a World Cup final is always exciting, no matter who is in it. Even if you are not particularly interested in football, everybody gets caught up in the mood of the moment. It's a World Cup thing, so therefore it's got some significance. It's not like a European Cup final or something as minor as that.
Well, it's the whole world.
It's the whole world.
The planet.
The whole planet. And, of course, people take opposite sides.
So I wonder, now I'm looking today at your shirt, Mr. Steve.
My shirt, yes.
And I think there might be a clue with your shirt as to who you want to win the World Cup. Am I right?
Well, it's blue with maybe a hint of yellow in it.
Would it be fair...
A blue with a hint of yellow. Does that give you a clue, Mr. Duncan?
Would it be fair to say that you are supporting Argentina?
Let's just say, for the purposes of this live stream, I'm going to take the opposite side.
Okay.
And is it true, Mr. Duncan, that you are in fact supporting... Have I put that up the right way?
No.
Right. Have you put it the right way then?
That's good.
I don't mind. It just shows you I don't watch flags of the world.
Or any flags.
That's right. So, yes.
So today, the World Cup final is taking place. Argentina, apparently Mr. Steve is Team Argentina and I am Team France. The reason is, of course, I have a little bit of French blood in me. I have a little Frenchman inside me.
And no, I'm not going to not going to continue with that, Mr. Duncan.
Do you have a little bit of? Do you have a little Argentine inside you?
I've got a big Argent. No, I'm not going to say anything, Mr. Duncan. I'm not saying anything.
No.
Nothing whatsoever. It just would be extremely rude. And yeah, we want you to stay with us. But of course, we understand if you are football fans, you may wish to cast an eye on what is going on in the World Cup.
Okay.
Are you able to have one eye on us and another one on the... Can you do that? Can you actually keep one eye in one place? And I don't know if you can do that. I don't think you can.
Some people can. They can make their eyes go all over the place. So Mr. Steve is Team Argentina. Did you know that the Argentinian flag is the only flag that has a face on it?
Really?
Yes.
It looked like a sun god.
Yes, it's a sun, but there's a face. It's the only flag that has a face on it.
Well, I knew that, of course. I knew that,
not
of course.
know
Being a supporter of the Argentine football team.
Okay, then.
Or is it Argentine?
But I've got the tricolours. That's what we call this, the tricolours.
The tricolore.
The colours of... That is supposed to be blue, but I don't know why. It looks black. And I think that's Mr. Steve's rubbish printer. But blue, white and red.
Yes.
I don't know why. It's very interesting. Don't you find it interesting that blue, white and red are often used in flags around the European area, including, well, here, because our flag is red, white and blue as well.
They're primary colours, aren't they, Mr. Duncan? So they stand out. But I think this is a particularly attractive flag, just like the Argentinian players, who are themselves quite attractive.
Well, I think the French players are also nice as well.
I would agree there.
Although most... This is one of the things I always find interesting about football, is you often find that some of the football players are not from the place that they are playing for. I think in the World Cup there are different rules, though. I think you have to have some connection with the actual country that you're playing for. But as I understand it, quite often in many teams in the leagues, for example, I suppose I would use Manchester United. You might say Manchester United, all of the players should come from Manchester, but they don't. Quite a lot of them come from Italy or Spain. And very few of them are actually born or live in Manchester, and that's I always find that quite interesting.
But for the World Cup, I think you have to have originated, do you not, in that country? Otherwise, you cannot compete in that particular. I think I'm right there. Am I right there, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, I think the rules are a little bit more strict. You have to be a national of that country.
Yes.
So I think it is a bit more.
Hence
strict.
Hence you get people who might have been playing in the same league team together, like the England team, for example.
Yes.
That was, I don't know his name. He had to score a penalty and he missed.
Okay.
But of course, the person in goal was the person that he plays with.
Yes.
In his league team. So it must have been quite difficult to try and score a goal against somebody that you play with.
So people that you normally play beside,
yes,
suddenly become your rivals.
Your rivals in a World Cup situation.
They are.
Yes.
They are literally the enemy.
So a bit like us today, Mr. Duncan. Normally we are working as a team, but today we are enemies.
Do we ever?
Sworn enemies.
I don't think we ever work as a team. I will be honest with you.
Sneeze, Mr. Duncan. But I'll tell you something. We have been sneezing, and your chest has been bad with the cold weather.
Yeah,
I've had to rub Vic all over it, haven't I?
Could you give any more of my medical information out?
I could do, but
it's not Meghan Markle's Netflix show, But yes, I've been suffering from a little bit of asthma over the last couple of days because it's cold. But I think you have brought something back. As usual, Mr. Steve hangs around all these filthy people, and they have no health concerns. They just don't care what they get.
They're just normal members of the public. Yes, I've been in a couple of concerts, one on Friday, another one last night. Just carol concerts for in a church. We had a lot of people. There was about 120 at one, and about 50 or 60 last night. And of course, lots of people. I had my flu jab yesterday, Mr. Duncan, as well. I had my flu jab, so I'm feeling a bit, Actually, I'm fine. But
wow, this is all. Jesus, you are so ignorant.
Who says that?
Well, can I read the comment first?
Is it Tomek?
Yes. Can I read it?
Go on, yeah, go ahead.
Will you allow me? Jesus, you are so ignorant, Mr. Duncan. It's painful to listen. Your credibility is down the drain. Can I just say my credibility went down the drain many years ago?
But he says you're Jesus, so that's quite good.
Yes. I'm not sure if he's talking to me or maybe he's praying. Maybe he's praying for the right team.
I don't think it's me, because he compared me to Messi in an earlier comment, which I much appreciate. So thank you for that, Tom.
No, I think he was just saying that your clothing is always very messy.
Always very messy.
Very messy.
Right. Okay.
Okay, calm down. Goodness me.
That's interesting, isn't it? That their lead goal scorer for Argentina, his name in English sounds like something that's very disorganised.
Yeah.
Messy.
Untidy.
Messy is pronounced exactly the same as, is it Messi?
Yes, it is. What's his first name?
Lionel, I believe it is.
It's
not something like Lionel.
It's not a very macho name.
I don't know. It probably is in Argentina.
I think Lionel might be one of the least macho names. Lionel. Hello, my name is Lionel. Well, I play football.
It's actions that count, Mr. Duncan, and he has certainly counted when it comes to goal scoring for his national team. In fact, do you know how many goals he has scored?
Who?
Messi for his team.
Well, I'm hoping he'll score a few today.
Well, do you know how many he's scored altogether for his team?
1 million. Am I near?
No, you're not actually.
2 million.
According to Wikipedia, it's 96.
See, that doesn't sound very many now.
Yes, but how many did Maradona score?
I think 1 million is better.
See, Maradona was, is probably from our perspective, probably the most famous player in Argentina, if not in the world.
Yes.
Obviously, he's not playing at the moment. He's not very well, is he? I don't think. So how many goals did he score then? How many goals has he scored?
Who did you just mention then? Maradona?
Yes.
He's dead.
Oh, is he dead? Oh, right, okay.
Yes, you're right, Steve. He's not very well.
Not very well, exactly. I was right. I'm going to get a comment from Tomek now saying that I'm embarrassing myself as well.
You are the most ignorant person.
So who is it that's currently in hospital? As a famous football player who's not very well at the moment.
Pele,
that's who I've got it mixed up with. See, I was half right. Half right.
You weren't half right. You were 0 right.
So Lionel Messi scored, I think it's 96 goals. So how many did Maradona score for the national team when he was a player?
I thought this was
his career. There's the phrase I was looking for.
Yes,
the word I was looking for. How many? Do you know, Mr. Duncan?
1 million.
Well, no, it's 34.
Okay, that's
Messi is, scored quite a few more, nearly 3 times as many, or more than 3 times as many. In fact.
I would have been really, really impressed if it had been 1 million.
Exactly. Yes.
96 doesn't sound very many to me.
I know you love me to bits, Tomek. I'm only joking. It's all everything. Nothing. We don't take anything seriously here. We know it's joking. It's banter. It's having a bit of fun. That's just what this is all about, isn't it? So even when we're arguing...
Having fun,
a bit of banter, a bit of two-way... two-way banter, yes. That's what it's all about.
Is it two-way, is it?
A bit of fun. That's laughter.
You're not on about...
We want to...
Two-way.
We want to
this way.
Cheerful and to have a good time.
Okay.
And we want you to come away from this English teaching lesson feeling uplifted and in better spirits than you were before.
Yes.
Even if your team, France, is going to lose.
Yes. And by the way, Tomek, thank you very much for criticising me. I only have one thing to give you. One of those.
Right, you see.
Do you like
Mr.
that?
Duncan always has the last word.
I do. I do.
But never mind. No, it's all a bit of fun.
It is.
So yes, 10 minutes to go before the match kicks off.
Okay.
Not
Can
we
you
want to
stop-
keep mentioning it.
Why do you keep mentioning it?
That'll be boring. They won't score in the first half at all.
Goodbye, everyone.
I tell you, a guarantee they will not score in the first half. So you may as well
Goodbye.
stay with us, because the first half will be boring. They'll all be playing very defensively. Nobody will take any risks, and there won't be any goals scored.
No. Well, my prediction is France will win, and I think it will go into extra time.
Oh, don't say penalties, Mr. Duncan.
Not penalties, no, just extra time.
Oh, right,
Extra
no,
time is not
okay.
penalties.
I know, but it could lead to that if they don't score.
Penalties is what they end up doing after everything else has not brought around a result.
It's going to be quite a match, because they both, as far as my information is, assuming my information is correct, I believe they have both won the World Cup twice.
Yeah,
France.
France are defending it.
That's it. So they've both won it twice. So obviously France, 2018, but they also won it in 1998, whereas Argentina haven't won it for 40 years or nearly 40 years.
When did England last win?
1966.
1966.
So
I was one in 1966, just 1 year old. What are you doing, Steve?
I was 5.
You don't... What? You had to add that up on your fingers.
Of course not. I wouldn't have actually shown that in front of everybody.
I don't know nowadays.
I just did it for a joke.
Oh, I see.
6 minus 1 is 4.
And Tomek,
5 years ago. That's right.
Tomek was on about my credibility.
I can't say my maths has ever been very good.
Oh, I'm also going to say that. I mean, last week, Mr. Steve said your humerus is in your leg. The humerus is not in your leg, by the way.
Humerus is in my head, Mr. Duncan. That's where the humour comes from.
I don't think there's nothing in your head. I think it's just a big empty coconut.
Yes, well, it's all going to be fun here. We're not kicking any footballs.
No, we're not.
The only goals we're going to be scoring, Mr. Duncan,
we might be kicking each other.
The only goals we're going to be scoring is in helping people learn English. Every time somebody learns a new word today or a new phrase, that's 1 goal scored. Oh, we should add this up, shouldn't we? So if you've learnt something new today, let us know. We'll keep a score. That's a good idea. If Mr. Duncan tells you something you haven't heard before, let us know. If I tell you something you didn't know before, about English, that is, and we'll keep a score. I'll be for Team Argentina and you'll be for Team France.
I think I prefer watching the football match, to be honest.
And
I might actually go into the living room to
just an idea that I thought I would throw out there.
Yes, you certainly did. Like a rotten tomato. Apparently, have you read the newspapers this morning, Steve? Did you read them all? Every Sunday we have all the newspapers delivered, all of them. They bring them in a big lorry and they lower them into the house from a crane. They take the roof off the house and then they lower all of the Sunday papers into the house. Apparently, Steve, it's all doom and gloom again.
Oh, is it?
Power cuts.
Oh, power cuts. So they're trying to scare us again with power cuts.
Apparently, power cuts loom, which is interesting, actually, because that's how you get power normally, through a loom, a connection of wires.
Oh, I see.
Do you like that? Yes.
Right, okay.
See, I think they're making a joke there. They might be making a joke. I think so. Power cuts loom after the meteorological office misses the big freeze. So apparently, because no one saw the big freeze, the cold weather that we've had recently, no one saw it coming. Apparently, we've used up most of our energy. And we haven't been prepared for it.
Yes, and of course we're not being helped out by France at the moment because most of their nuclear power stations are offline.
Yes.
So you're not really helping Europe out very much at the moment, I'm afraid, because you need to get your act together and get these power stations back online again. I think about half of them are offline at the moment due to various factors, probably unions or something. I don't know.
I've noticed that part.
But
Power cuts.
yes,
yeah, apparently they're coming over the next couple of weeks, so we might be spending Christmas Day with candles.
well, we would do, but after that headline, all the candles will be sold out probably by tomorrow morning,
I think so.
because everyone will go out and buy candles if they haven't already.
I think they probably have lots of candles already.
So what we'll have to do, Mr. Duncan, is we'll have to kill an animal,
What?
like one of those sheep at the back, melt it down for its fat,
Okay.
and then make it into a candle, and then we can have light in the house.
How are you going to melt it down?
On the fire in the living room.
I think that will take a very long time.
So,
So you want to render the meat.
render the meat, that's right. We've got to render the meat, melt it all down, get the fat off it, and lamb is very good for fat.
Okay.
Because it's a very fatty meat. So there's a lot of high energy fat in a sheep. So we've got to melt it down, and then we've got to make it into candles. Put a wick inside, a wick.
You're certainly getting on my wick.
There we go. We taught something
Yes.
already. That's one score for somebody.
Me.
Uh,
Apparently, I've already scored 10 points anyway. You haven't
10
even been.
points?
You're not taking the score.
So
So
it's just favouritism.
it is. Well, my name is on the channel. It's my channel.
So
you see.
Mila, let's do this anyway. It's a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
We need one.
Mr. Duncan, Mr. Steve.
Mm-hmm.
1 point from Mila so far from Mr. Steve. Okay, well, you know. So we got that. There we go. 1 point so far. So we're turning this into a contest.
I'm enjoying your narration.
It's a favouritism contest.
Yes. So who's the best? Is it Team France, which is actually Mr. Duncan, or is it Team Argentina, which is Mr. Steve?
Oh, you've got another one for the Met Office. That's
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Traitors. You're all traitors, all
I
of
know.
you.
I'm full
Supporting
of
Mr. Duncan. Anyone would think it was his channel.
I'm full of information. So only 4 minutes before the kick-off.
You told me not to mention it.
Of course. Well, it's a bit too late now. I think people know that the World Cup is taking place today. I have a feeling people know all about it. They may have heard people talking about it on the television, you see.
And we are flattered beyond words, humbled, that you wish to stay with us and watch what we're doing rather than the World Cup.
Yes.
Or at least you're pretending to be on here. You could well be watching the World Cup, but still actually on the live stream. Of course, we'll know if the live chat just comes to a complete halt.
Yes. But don't
We'll
forget.
know you're not really there.
Well, don't forget what I said the other week. That they're going on my naughty list because next week it's Christmas. So
Yes.
next week, we will be here celebrating Christmas. I'm going to put Mr. Steve
Christmas?
on. Yes,
Is it Christmas next week?
next Sunday.
Got to get Mr. Duncan some presents.
I'm just waiting for the Amazon driver to arrive. Mr. Steve puts so much thought into my gifts.
I'm not going out to shops when I can sit from the comfort of my office chair.
I wouldn't mind, but he gives me the gift in the Amazon box. He doesn't even wrap it up. It's got the address on and everything. So it's very, very nice. So the football is starting, but please don't go away. I am making a list of naughty and nice. So if you leave me, if you go away to watch the football, you're going on my naughty list. But if you stay with me and say hello on the live chat whilst the match is underway, so when it starts, if you are still here, you will go automatically onto my good list. You are nice instead of naughty.
But they could be naughty and nice, like Tomek.
Maxim wants to know what car you have. Do you have a car?
I do have a car. Yes, it's a Mercedes.
Yes.
And
Steve
it's my
likes-
second Mercedes.
Yes, Steve likes German technology.
Well, only because they last forever. So
Yeah.
the last one I had for 7 years. It had done 185,000 miles. and nothing went wrong with it in the whole of the time I had it. Hardly anything. Well, one of the rear lights needed replacing, one of the clusters.
Yes. Okay.
So that's the only reason I like to buy a car and keep it for a long, long time.
Yes.
And something like a Mercedes, yes, they cost more.
Yes.
Not that I paid that much for it because I cheated, Mr. Duncan. It was a company car.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
4 years old, and it's 4.5 years old now, and I bought it off the lease company very cheaply.
Very cheaply.
So I didn't, I got it second hand, 4.5 years old, very cheaply. Hasn't done that. It's only done about 50,000 miles. So it will do at least 200,000. So I've got it probably for another 5 or 10 years at least. And it will serve me well.
I bet you wish you had never asked that question. Do you know who else?
I buy quality.
Do you know who else likes Mercedes?
German Chancellor?
Hitler.
Oh,
Hitler had a Mercedes. He loved Mercedes.
he's not around anymore, Mr. Duncan.
But yes, but he used to. If you ever see any movies, any old film footage of Hitler, he's always driving around in a giant Mercedes. What do you think about that? How do you feel?
Not a
now?
lot, really. Well, I mean, that's probably the only car company that existed.
How do you
at the
sleep?
time.
How do you sleep at night?
Well, because he's not alive anymore, so... No, well, unfortunately, there are no British car manufacturers.
Okay.
I would buy a British car if there was one that was made or owned in the UK. So we've got Jaguar, but that's owned by, I think it's Ford, isn't it? Or I can't remember who owns Jaguar now.
You're the expert.
Jaguar Land Rover. I think it might be owned by BMW or something like that. A Rolls-Royce. You see, I'd love a Rolls-Royce, Mr. Duncan.
Well, we all would.
But that's owned by, I think it's Volkswagen. So there are cars made in Britain. Nissan has a factory, Toyota has a factory. But again, it's not owned by British people. I would love to buy a British owned car, but there aren't any.
Well, Hitler also liked the Volkswagen.
Well, yes, that's right.
And that car is still driving around, and Hitler invented that one, the little Beetle.
Well, that's one good thing that came out of the regime, then, isn't it, Mr. Duncan? That the technology for cars. What's the matter?
Did you just say what I think you said?
Yes. Well, so good always comes out of something bad, doesn't it? Somewhere along the way. But they were. I mean, the Beatles still around. Well, it's not really, is it? Not in its original form.
No.
But, I mean, you could say that about lots of... you could probably say that about this country. Things that we had, technologies that we had, that we used to invade different countries, that we maybe still use today.
Well, like minis. We all got in our minis. And we invaded the world in our little minis.
Anyway.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I think the match is about to start, Mr. Steve.
Well, not that we're interested
no,
at
it's
all.
all right. I want to do something, Steve. Wait there. You just... the match is about to start. I think kickoff is just about to start. So this is where it all gets interesting.
It does. It'll be very interesting to see how many people we've still got left on the live stream.
Yes.
Well, it's holding steady at the moment, Mr. Duncan, as I said.
Okay, that's the only score I'm interested in, to be honest.
Nothing will happen in the first half. They'll be too frightened to do anything.
Who?
I don't know. With the players, because they don't want to make mistakes, you see. Because if they make a mistake, then they will be annihilated in the press, in their home countries.
Yes.
So nobody wants to make a mistake. So they will only score a goal if they absolutely 100% have the chance to do it.
So if France don't win, they will be guillotined. They will be taken into the local square and the old Madame Guillotine.
Well, some countries, I've forgotten who it was now. Was it the World Cup or was it the Olympic Games? Certain sort of countries with authoritarian regimes, if the players don't perform...
What, the UK?
When they go back, didn't they get killed? One country for the World Cup or for the Olympics?
You're telling me, Steve. I don't know.
Somebody might might be able to tell us
That's
that if maybe, I don't know, was it North Korea or somewhere like that?
North Korea.
I
So
don't-
you think North Korea have taken part in the Olympic Games?
Well, I don't know, but there was an authoritarian regime that punished its players when they didn't score a goal or didn't do something. I can't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've got to be very careful. I mean,
Yeah.
Iranian players have been taking a big risk, haven't they, when they've been protesting at these World Cup, for
Well,
example.
yes. Well, for their team photograph, they all decided to kiss each other.
Did they?
Yeah, and they took all their clothes off and rolled around in the mud.
And they refused to sing their national anthem in support of protests that are going on in their country.
Apparently, a lot of
So,
people have been
very brave.
A lot of people have been criticising Qatar, but apparently the next international gay pride is going to be held in Qatar. Did you know that? So they're having the next international gay pride, and apparently this is part of the agreement for holding the World Cup. The international gay pride, all the gays around the world are going to Qatar. Apparently, it's going to be a great time.
I shan't be going because it might be a bit risky for me going to somewhere like that, another country, someone as attractive as me. I might get mobbed.
Yeah. If there's one thing I've learned. If there's one thing I've learned in this world, the more against something a country is, the more of it is actually going on in that country. And we've seen this for ourselves.
Have we?
We've travelled. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. We've seen this for ourselves. We've been to countries where things are very strict, but we know for a fact that there are people in those countries who are just having a great time, to be honest. And that's it. So I think that's fair to say. So the more against something, the more anti a country is. Quite often you find there is more of that thing going on,
You mean
even if it's not in the open.
But at least it's going on, even if it's not obviously going on. Yes, if you ban something that people like doing, then people will still do it anyway. They will just do it in secret.
I
Doesn't
think
matter
so.
what, like taking drugs. If
So-
you ban drugs, people will still do it. They'll still get hold of it, and they'll just do it in secret. Which is why a lot of countries are, like with drugs, they're making them legal, aren't they? In a
That's
lot
it.
of countries now.
They should just make everything legal. They should just make it all legal, and then see what happens. It might be the best thing that's ever happened. Look at this, Steve. Can I show you something? This is the thumbnail for today's live stream. Isn't that brilliant? Look at us.
Why does my head look so big?
Well, you're in goals. You're the goalkeeper, and you're deflecting the ball.
That's very bad for my brain, isn't it? To head balls.
I don't think you could cause any more damage to your brain, to be
I've
honest.
got a very thin skull, Mr. Duncan.
It is true. It's like a newborn baby. Apparently, if you press the top of a newborn baby's head, your hand goes right inside.
Yes,
Apparently.
newborn babies shouldn't be heading balls.
No, never get your newborn baby to play football. It's very bad for them. So there is Mr. Steve and myself looking very athletic, I have to say.
Although with rather oversized heads.
Yes, that's all right. But you need a big head, you see, if you're in goals. So I'm always surprised when they choose the person to go into the goal, that they always choose someone with a very small head, when in fact they should have someone with a big, giant head and huge hands, and then they can always save the ball. Just a thought. Anyway, the match is now going. Are there any scores in the match between Argentina and France? Although this is the French flag, by the way. That I know that looks black, but it isn't. It's blue. Honestly, trust me, please.
Yes, I think a few people have said that it was an African team in the 90s that may have punished its players when they returned home. But something I think happened recently at the Olympics as well. I think something happened maybe at the last Olympics where it was suspected that, or was strongly suspected that the players that went back or the competitors that went back were going to be punished in some way. And I'm sure competitors have been killed in the past by certain regimes for
I don't
not
know.
succeeding or coming up to expectations.
Harsh, yes, it's harsh, but it probably gets the job done. You know, they'll think twice before they don't win the race. They will think twice before they lose that race. I think so.
Right, Mr. Duncan. How are we going to keep people watching?
What do you
us?
mean, right, Mr. Duncan?
Do we need to strip off? Would that keep people watching?
No, please don't strip off.
Right, okay, then I'll avoid doing that.
Yes. Mr. Steve went for a checkup the other day at the doctor's, and the doctor is now undergoing counselling for trauma because they laughed so much when Mr. Steve pulled his pants down, apparently. They said they've never seen anything like it. Never. They've never seen anything like it ever in their whole life. In fact, I think there's a new section of Grey's Anatomy that that is dedicated.
You're on very shaky, dodgy ground, Mr. Duncan.
Okay. Oh, by the way, what's for tea tonight?
What I've put on in the slow cooker.
Are we having mince?
We are having chili.
Oh,
Chili mince tonight.
chili con carne.
And, depending on how you treat me in this live stream, I may or may not, it may or may not be a very mild chili or a very, very strong chili.
Why is there a mistake on the title of the live stream? There is a reason, because YouTube will only give you 100 characters to put the title on your video, but unfortunately I went over by one character, so that's why it says keep you eye on the ball instead of keep your eye on the ball. That's the reason why. I was using too many characters.
Well, you need to have a point taken off, Mr. Duncan.
Do I?
I'm removing a point because that's grammatically incorrect.
It isn't.
And therefore, you've undone the 2 points that you've already gained from people saying that you've taught them something today, because in fact you've negatively taught them something. Okay. So well spotted, and maybe we could lobby YouTube to increase the number of characters that they allow in the titles for live streams.
We can only hope.
What could you have put instead? You didn't realise it was there?
I knew that I had gone over the limit of 101, you see, instead of 100.
Right.
And that's it. So that's why today's live stream says, keep you eye on the ball. And I hope that explanation has satisfied you.
So you decided that you'd just do that anyway, even though it was grammatically incorrect, and this is an English teaching channel.
Yes.
You just thought, well, that's all right.
Yes.
Nobody will notice.
Apparently, Lieutenant Columbo, his favourite food is chili meat. And we know that, don't we?
We do. Who said that?
But Giovanni said it.
Giovanni Rivetti.
But of course, Columbo, Lieutenant Columbo of the LA Homicide Squad, he likes to put crackers into his.
The Homicide Squad? Oh,
Sorry?
Homicide, not homicide.
No. Well, it means the same thing.
Anyway, yeah. Right.
It doesn't matter how you pronounce it. It still means the same thing. But yes, it is true.
Will we be having it with crackers? Did you know that?
I will be eating it with a cracker, and that's you, because you are quite crackers sometimes.
What's that? That was isn't that a phrase that black people use for describing white people? Don't they? Don't they call us crackers?
Are there any goals yet in the match?
I've heard that phrase used. It's not been used on me.
No.
But it is a phrase that is used, referring to the crack of a whip. I believe that's where its origins are.
I always thought it was because our skin looks the same colour as a cream cracker.
The trouble is, it's not really offensive to us.
No.
It doesn't really offend us.
No.
So it's actually a waste of time
So
using that.
what would be what would be the equivalent word?
The equivalent word would be one that would get you instantly banned from YouTube if I were to use it. So I won't be using that word.
Good.
With absolutely no chance of a reprieve.
No. You will be down the memory hole, as they say, when you are when you are made to disappear forever for saying horrible things, you might find yourself going down the memory hole forever. Like Twitter. That's what's happening now on Twitter. Everyone is being banned. I mean, eventually there'll be no one left. It'll just be Elon Musk tweeting himself.
Isn't the idea of Elon Musk taking over Twitter that he wasn't going to... He disapproved of people being banned, and now he's banning people. Is that right?
There is something very ironic about that. I believe in free speech, but those that disagree with that will be banned.
So, Abdelkader Yaksin, sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. We've used the phrase chili meat.
Yes.
So it's not chili as in cold.
No, it's the opposite.
It's not Chilly, which is chili, which means it's cold. It's chili. Chi. Is it LLI for chili?
Yes, chili.
The spice, whatever it is that you put in food that makes it hot.
So I've actually put that on the live chat now.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
So chili means something that is hot to taste. So, for example, chili peppers are hot. So chili meat or chili lamb means that it is spicy. Something has been added to make it spicy.
So that's a point to me. I'm taking that one, that I've taught something to your lovely viewers.
You almost did there, yes. I'm impressed.
Yeah, that's strange, that, isn't it? That chili, it's quite an interesting observation, Mr. Duncan. Chili as in Chilly, ooh, I'm cold, I'm chilly, is the complete opposite to a word that sounds exactly the same when it's pronounced, but is spelt differently, that means hot and spicy.
They're both homophones.
Pardon? Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, they sound the same.
Yeah, so...
but their meanings are different. In fact, they are completely opposite.
They're completely opposite. I wonder... That's very interesting. I wonder what other examples there are of words that are pronounced the same, homophones, but have completely opposite meanings. Sometimes they have different meanings, but not necessarily opposite.
That's it.
I think this is profound.
This is something we will do on another live stream, because today we have more important things to think about. I can see my viewing figures dropping.
And of course, as Rhubarb has pointed out, there is another pronunciation of Chile, the country.
Yes.
Chile, Chile. So that's three different words that sound the same, that all have different meanings. And Chile, the country, of course, it's not known as a cold country.
No.
They might have mountains with snow on, I don't know. But yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. So you get a point, Rhubarb, for that.
I always think chili looks like a chili. Looks like a chili pepper. Have you noticed that?
Does it? You mean, yes. No, you didn't make a mistake, Giovanni. You did not make a mistake. It was, this is what this is about. You didn't make a mistake at all. You would think, listening to the word, if we just said chili, you would think that it could mean being cold. So there we go. I'm giving myself another point. So that's 2-1 now. I'm in the lead, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah.
Even though nobody...
I have to say I don't care, but there you go.
I know.
Are there any goals?
I'm sure people would tell us.
Any goals? Are there any goals in the football match that's happening now? A big match taking place. Are there any goals? Can someone please tell us? Any goals? So that's what will happen, you see. If there is a goal, you will see that. That will happen. The balls will come down. Your balls will drop, Mr. Steve, and they will roll away.
Mosen asks, do we have a chili dog sandwich in England?
That's like a hot dog, though, isn't it?
I think we do. Chili dog, we would call it a hot dog.
Yeah, it's just a hot dog with mustard.
Yeah, so we would call it a hot dog. Rather than maybe in America or in other countries they call it chili dog. Maybe they do put chilies on it. We would put mustard on, which would make it hot as well. I've never seen chili dog
No.
as the name of a food in the UK. I've never seen it on a menu. We would probably say hot dog, or it would be hot dog with spicy. We would say spicy hot dog, probably. But I think that is a phrase which I've seen on American TV shows, where they say,
What
"Give
was
me a
that?
chili dog." I don't know.
Is that your American accent?
It certainly is. It's my American accent, Mr. Duncan.
It sounds Welsh.
I only know one American accent, and that's vaguely Southern.
Arr.
But anyway,
Yeah,
right, let's not go.
I come from Texas, and I'm a Southerner. Yeehaw!
Well, we it doesn't matter. We've got nobody from America watching that we know of,
Yeah.
so
Well,
we can take the
United
Mickey
States-
out of
The United States. America is a continent.
But pedantic. How
Yes.
pedantic is that? Do you know the word pedantic? Do you?
Do I
mean,
know it?
No, viewers, because I'm thinking I'm teaching something here. Give myself another goal,
Well, just-
another point.
Well, tell us what it is then.
Just means you've been very, very literal about something, very almost annoyingly pointing out the literal meaning of something. Is that right, Mr. Duncan?
It is, but it also means that you just like to correct people.
Yes.
You are correcting them on their very small mistakes.
So, Mr. Duncan corrected me then on what was a small mistake, which was unnecessary because you all understood what I
In
meant.
fact, you almost got the definition of pedantic wrong. So I had to correct you, which might mean that I am being pedantic about your definition of pedantic.
And if somebody, do you know people that are always correcting you on the way you speak, maybe on the way that you do things, and it's not necessary, and it's unnecessary correction. They're doing it in a way because they want to seem like they're better than you, or that they've got more knowledge than you, and they point out your mistakes, even though those mistakes aren't a detriment to what you were trying to say at all. Everybody could still understand.
We can put an ad
what
break
they were
in that
saying.
gap. So with that gap there's probably going to be an ad break.
Yes. And a person that is pedantic
Who?
is called a pedant.
Steve, there's
What?
a penalty.
Good grief.
There's a penalty.
Who?
So wait, who? No, I don't think it's no. China aren't playing. It's
Penalty for Argentina. Could this be it, Mr.
Okay,
Duncan?
hang on.
Could this be it?
I've got my finger on the button. Let's have a look. Penalty for Argentina.
Oh, this is exciting, Mr. Duncan.
Yes. So
Argentina.
Ah.
Argentina.
yes, let's see. What was that?
I'm praying, Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Steve is speaking in tongues.
There's something else. I'll give you another point there, Mr. Duncan. Speaking in tongues. Explain what that means.
That just means that you are so into religion, you've completely lost your mind, and to the point where you think you are somehow transmitting a language, a long since gone language,
Yes.
from heaven.
Yes, it's
But really, they're just a bit mad.
if you speak in tongues, yes, you're babbling. There's another word. Give myself another point there. Babbling.
Well, I would expect you to know that one.
It means you're sort of talking incoherently in what seems like
Okay.
an ancient language.
Is there a goal? Come on. We're not watching it. Is there a goal?
They've got to.
Yes.
Oh, it's messy.
Wait there, everyone. Okay, Steve. There is a goal in the World Cup, everyone.
Good
It is Argentina 1, France 0 point.
Thank you for telling us.
Mm.
I feel like going to watch it now. Do you mind if I go and watch the match, Mr. Duncan? And leave you all by yourself?
Well, we don't need to.
No, we don't, because we've got everybody here
Yes,
telling us.
that's it.
Belarusia looks like she's supporting Argentina.
Hello, Claudia.
Why would Claudia support Argentina? I've no idea.
No, I can't think why either.
I know. I just don't know. I wonder how many people we've got on who are supporting Argentina, and how many. You see, Claudia will be very upset that you're not supporting Argentina.
Well, no, it isn't that. We can't both support Argentina because then that's bias, you see. So we're trying to be equal. We're trying to level everything out.
Well done. Well
So
done.
Mr. Steve is supporting Argentina and I am supporting France because well, I am a little bit French. As I said earlier, I have a little Frenchman inside me.
Rosa is supporting Argentina because of Messi. I think his beard looks messy. I don't like his beard. I don't like men with beards. Sorry. A bit of a turn off for me.
Okay. Well, as long as he can kick the ball.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like I'm ever going to be in a relationship with him.
No.
So,
I
yes.
think the chances of you being in a homosexual relationship with Lionel Messi is very slim.
Very slim, and I wouldn't want to because of the beard.
Okay.
And he's not my type anyway. But he can score a goal, and he's there for a purpose. He's a brilliant goal scorer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just scored his, according to my data, he's just scored his 97th goal.
97.
Can
No.
he score another 3 and get to 100?
That doesn't sound like many goals, though.
Yeah, but it's in the World Cup. This is in World Cup matches, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah,
So that is quite a feat.
So I would expect 1 million. At least 1 million goals.
Ooh. Jimmy from Hong Kong, of course, is pleased.
Jimmy, why?
Because Jimmy is supporting Argentina.
Oh, I see.
I saw that earlier on. We don't know what Tomek's supporting. He don't think he's given himself away there.
I think Tomek wants France to win because he said it
Really?
at the start of today's live
Oh, I
stream.
missed that.
He
I
said it
missed
at the
that.
beginning, then he deleted the message. But I saw it. You think I don't see those things, but I do. Sometimes I'm always watching very carefully, very closely.
The most attractive team should win.
Okay.
That's probably France, actually.
If you were talking about the women's football, you would be branded. People would say that you are sexist, and what's the other word?
Misogynist.
A misogynist.
That's another point for me. Misogynist.
Yes. Well, I knew the word. You're not teaching me the word.
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah. So it's Argentina in the lead by 1 goal.
So what's a misogynist then? That's somebody, isn't it, who is not necessarily anti-women?
Yes.
Or is it anti-women?
Yes.
Okay.
It's they have a deep disdain or hatred of women.
Oh, yes, and use every opportunity to deride.
Yes.
Deride. That's another word. Another point for me. Deride. That means that they're constantly sort of saying nasty things to them.
Is there a reverse though of that?
But are there actually? Here's a
about,
question.
What about if a woman hates men? So what's the alternative to that?
That's normal, isn't it? Don't all women hate men? I thought that. I'm joking. But going back to your original question about attractive women in football, are there any? It would be my question. There's a question that could get people riled up. Riled up. Another point for me. If you rile somebody up, it means you get them angry and reactionary. Rile people up. It's a bit like winding somebody up, isn't it?
Yes.
You wind somebody, you rile somebody up. You do things to encourage them, get them to get angry and lose their temper.
Yes.
And things
You're
like
trying
that.
to inflame people.
Yes.
Inflame. You want to make anger in them and make them become angry.
See, yes, it's an interesting question. It's very different, isn't it?
You see, Mosen is watching the match on his laptop. So he has his laptop, but also is watching us at the same time. So, Mosen, you get a big thumbs up from me. Thank you very much, Mosen, because you are doing both of those things. You're watching the lovely game between hunky men and you are also watching the football. You see what I did there?
Adalberto Gomez. What a lovely name.
Sure. Do you want to try that again?
No. Says, am I going to sing any new songs for Christmas? No, I'm not this year.
No.
Mainly because I haven't had time to rehearse any.
Yes, and the other thing is I don't want any more copyright claims.
We had a few, didn't we, when we did that video of mine?
Yes.
We had a lot of copyright claims.
Yes, most of those songs are still in copyright.
I know. So, unfortunately, probably not, unless it was a carol that was over 100 years old, where the person that wrote it is dead. Strangely enough, Mr. Duncan, we sang a carol at a choir concert the other night.
Yes.
A beautiful carol.
What was it?
The silver stars are in the sky.
Huh? Don't sing it.
No, I'm not going to sing it. It's an I looked it up because I thought, because I'm in a couple of choirs, I thought I will take that to the person that runs my other choir and suggest that we sing this lovely, beautiful carol, which is a lullaby, really, something sort of designed to send children to sleep. Lovely, gentle song.
Or adults.
Or adults, yes, but a lullaby carol, Christmas carol. And I thought, what a lovely song. I will look this up. That's what I was doing this morning when you came up, Mr. Duncan. I can present this to the person that runs my other choir and say, here's a suggestion for next year's Christmas concert. Guess what I found, Mr. Duncan? It's not available.
It's in copyright?
No, I can't find it anywhere. And I discovered it was written by an Australian composer. But who's long since passed away in the 1970s, and this was written something like before the end of it was something written in something 18 something or early 1900s.
That's it then. It has to be also 100 years after the death of the composer.
Yeah, but you can't even get the music.
No,
it's not available.
That's it.
It's not published. Nobody published it. It's one of the most beautiful lullabies, carols I've ever heard, and you can't get the music from anywhere.
This is the strange thing about music, especially music, when we are talking about copyright. So the person who wrote the music or the words, they have to be credited, or that person can say if other people can use it or not. But there are lots of very complex rules surrounding it. And it's one that I don't think anyone understands, to be honest, including me.
But it's a shame because normally if something's in copyright, you pay for it, fine. If this music, but it's not even, the music's not even published, so I can't even legitimately, there's another point for me, legitimate. I can't even legitimately buy this.
Yes, so what does that mean then, legitimate?
That means it's correct. It's lawful, doesn't it? You're doing something correctly. So if I'm legitimately buying some music that's in copyright, it means I'm not going onto YouTube, for example, and stealing it.
No,
it's legitimate. It's genuine. The genuine thing. Is that right? Anything else to add?
It is. Yes, something legitimate is something that is observed in law, or maybe something that is in its rightful place. You might often talk about laws being legitimate. So they are still in force, or they are still part of current law. So yes, no, that's very good.
Beatrice is also listening to my Christmas songs. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And
can you watch them 1,000,000 times? And then we actually do share the copyright, by the way, from that one.
Do we?
That video. We do get some of it, but a very small amount. Maybe,
I mean, you do.
Maybe 1 or 2 pennies.
I haven't got anything for it. You haven't paid me my share, Mr. Duncan.
So whenever anyone plays Mr. Steve's carols or his songs, it is available under this video. I will receive 1 new shiny penny.
Albel Kader Yaksin Yaduki.
Saduki.
Saduki, sorry.
Isn't there a game called Saduki?
That's Sudoku, isn't it?
Oh, I see.
Christmas Carol. Isn't that a novel? It is? Yes, it is. A Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol
is a novel by Dickens.
Charles Dickens. You should know
Dickens.
that. You played Scrooge once.
I did.
You should know. And of course, there is a version of A Christmas Carol on my YouTube channel, read by me.
True. Which is very good.
It's true.
So yes, A Christmas Carol is a novel, but Christmas carols are special songs that are produced for Christmas, usually sung by choirs, short, sort of 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes long. A carol is a song specifically for Christmas.
Yes. You might say also that it's a type of prayer put to music as well.
Yes.
So carol. It's a very old word, apparently. It's a really, really old word.
But yes, there is a book called A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, but you can also have Christmas carols,
Yes.
which are songs that are sung at Christmas, that have Christmas themes
Yes.
in them. Christmas memories and themes, usually about angels and presents and Jesus and things like
Yes.
that.
It's quite a
in there.
combination, you see. So that was the first Christmas present.
But thank you for that.
The first Christmas present was baby Jesus ever. First gift. And they wrapped it up in very nice wrapping paper. And,
Wasn't
and
it,
there was a big bow on the front.
Wasn't it gold, frankincense and myrrh? Weren't they the first presents?
They were, and no one to this very day knows what they are. Gold, well, we know what gold is. It is something that I have none of. And then frankincense.
I've got gold, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
I've got gold.
Can I? Yes, that's good. Can I carry on? I've got a little thing.
Well, I thought you were going to ask where it was. It's in my tooth. I've got a gold tooth. Flashing away. Gold tooth. It's worth
You shouldn't say that, you see. Now,
thousands.
someone is going to jump on you in the street and they're going to pull your tooth out. They're going to think that it's worth something. It isn't. It isn't worth anything. It's plastic. Frankincense. Frankincense, isn't that a type of... it's a type of herb or a type of balm?
Yes, yes, we did look this up once, didn't we? Frankincense and myrrh. I think they are types of herbs.
Yes,
or
myrrh. I think
balms or
yes,
something.
I think it's a bit like that stuff you used to rub on your chest when you got a cold. Your mother would always rub that on your chest. I think it's like that. It's like that stuff. But never get it in your eyes. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Franco Ferrari.
Argentina have scored.
Oh, you're joking. 2-0.
This is really embarrassing.
Oh, it looks like Jimmy, me, and Claudia supported the right team.
It looks as if we will be fighting in the front garden later.
It's dark outside, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, it is. It's
course
night. That's what happens at night.
We haven't had the shortest day yet, have we?
No, it's seemingly. I'm having the longest one at the moment with you.
When is the shortest? Is it the 21st? It can't be far off.
It can't be far off, can it?
And then it will get lighter because spring will be on the way.
Well, that's why Christmas time comes at the same time, you see, because it was moved there because of all of those people that used to strip off naked and dance around Stonehenge. It was there to annoy them, you see.
Yes, Olga. Yes, it's strange that I've got a gold tooth. I know, I don't know how I got it.
You don't know how you got it? What? It just appeared one night.
Well,
Maybe there's a very rich tooth fairy that's loaded with money in gold, and she's flying around putting gold into your mouth.
I don't think it's 24 karat gold.
No.
It's the sort of... I mean, Claudia will know all about this. Obviously, being a dentist.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say she's a gold miner.
Why do they put... I think they put gold fillings in because I think they last for like forever, don't they?
Yes. They last longer than the person.
I remember that particular one. It was very difficult. There was something wrong with it. They had to do something, and he suggested at the time that would be better than having a cap on it. I think it was cheaper. Sounds strange, but I think at the time the gold filling was a cheaper option than what he wanted to do, or what needed to be done to mend the tooth. It was quite badly rotten, I think, at the time.
This is great. So there it is, the history of Mr. Steve's gold tooth.
But Belarusia, Claudia. Yes, what is gold still used in fillings?
Yeah.
And if so, is it cheaper? I can't imagine it's cheaper than. I don't think they use mercury fillings anymore, do they?
No, they don't put mercury in your mouth anymore.
They used to.
Apparently, they realised it's quite poisonous.
I don't know what they tend to use that sort of resin now. I notice when I've gone to the dentist now.
Yes.
Not that I've had a filling for years.
It's a bit like a ceramic resin.
Then they use ultraviolet light, don't they, to set it?
That's it. This is.
But it's interesting to know.
If anyone's just tuned in, we are today talking about the Football World Cup and dentistry.
So Belarusius, it was Claudia, says they only do it in Bolivia.
Oh.
I don't know if they do it in the UK anymore. All I know is that's been in there about 20 years.
Lots of gangsters have it.
That is true.
Yes, if you see a gangster.
So, that's probably why.
Yes.
I've got to be careful what I say here.
Yes, you have got to be very careful.
Right, so, I'm going to be safe with this gold tooth, aren't I?
Why?
Because that's it, Mr. Duncan.
No,
if I'm threatened...
The gold teeth are normally at the front and there's loads of them.
If I'm ever threatened on the street by a thug...
Okay.
Right, if a thug comes up to me and says, "Here, give me all your money," I'll just go like that, and instantly he will run away because the gold tooth will make him scared.
Why do you assume it's a man? It might be a lady gangster.
I've never seen one of those.
Women can be gangsters as well. I think it's very unfair that you are saying that only men can be in organised crime. I think women are just as capable.
Carmen. Dentistry is a new word for Carmen. There we go. Who said that? Was it me or you?
I don't know.
It could have been. I'll give it to you. I'm feeling generous.
Thank you.
Because Argentina are winning.
Argentina? Is that the name of the country? Is it Argentina?
I think so.
No. Argentina.
Argentinian footballers. Yeah.
Yes.
Claudia does mercury fillings. Yeah.
Why? That's dangerous.
Well, no, as long as you sort of don't breathe in too much of the vapour.
Ever again. Never breathe again.
That might explain a lot, actually.
Yes. What?
The mercury that Claudia's breathing in, because I've often thought, what does Claudia see in you? There must be some. Obviously, the mercury is making your brain a bit foggy, Claudia. I'm joking. I'm joking. I am.
What is going on behind us, by the way?
Where?
No, behind us on the screen. There's the screen in front of us.
It's gone purple.
There's nothing there. I think it's just...
We're in a void.
It's just the... can I just move my camera slightly?
It does look a bit odd.
You can keep us entertained.
It looks like we're in a universe that's gone purple.
Yes, it's very strange. Because it's dark outside now, you see. Yeah.
I wonder why. Why are we in a purple void, Mr. Duncan? So Rosa says that her father had a gold tooth. Yes, I think it was cheaper many years ago, because I remember at the time, I wouldn't have paid for an expensive gold tooth unless it was cheaper than other options. All I can say is it's very robust. Robust, there's a good word. It means it can withstand a long time, a lot of punishment. It has been rock solid for 20 odd years. It hasn't moved. I haven't needed to replace it at all. The only problem is you can see it. You can see it when the light shines on it. But as I said earlier, that's just going to make me people scared of me on the street who try to rob me. So I think, Mr. Duncan, this is my passport to safety on the streets. Because I'm obviously very vulnerable, with these looks. People are always trying to... and they see me in the Mercedes, and that's it, you see. They think he's got money, I'll rob him. But as long as I don't try to get the gold tooth out... And I don't know, how much could you sell a gold tooth for, Mr. Duncan? I'm rambling. Gold doesn't oxidise, that is correct. It is impervious.
Is it?
To oxygen.
Okay.
And it was created... in the stars, when supernovas take place, gold is made from supernovas, stars imploding and then exploding, and the gold comes from there.
Oh,
so
my
there
goodness.
we go. I've got so many points here, Mr. Duncan. I've just lost count.
Have you got 1,000,000 points yet?
We've got 6. Pardon? Have I got 1,000,000? No, not yet.
Yeah.
Are we going to do the space game, or whatever it's called now?
The space game. No, we're not filling in the blanks today.
Aren't we?
We're hoping that Argentina and France will be filling in the goals. You see? Do you like that?
Oh, right. You're a genius in technology, says Beatrice. It still looks purple to me.
Yes, but now you can see us again. We're on the screen twice now.
Why?
So because our background camera is now pointing towards us, so we're behind. But we're behind ourselves.
Has it really gone that dark outside already?
Yes, it's dark now, officially.
Strange.
Yes.
Don't remember it getting dark this early at
Yes.
this time of the year,
Yes.
Mr. Duncan.
Yes, there it is. Dark.
Right.
There it is. Just to prove it, it's dark.
Oh, that's better. Can't you show that camera instead?
No, it's boring.
Well, it looks atmospheric. Are we entertaining you is what we want to know. Are we keeping you suitably entertained or are you getting bored?
I don't know.
Do we need to start stripping off in order to keep your interest?
I hope not. I hope we don't have to start stripping off. I really do. So, shall we have a look at some words before we leave? And of course, we will be keeping an eye on the match, the big match that is taking place at the moment.
Who scored the second goal, by the way?
I think Messi scored the first one, but I think they're also saying that he scored the second one as well. Wow! So
In that case,
so maybe Messi has scored both of them. Isn't
that's true, he's now on 98.
Yes.
So if he can score another 2, he'll get to 100.
Yes.
I bet that's what's in his mind. I'm going to get to 100. I bet that's what's on his mind.
Because of course it's his last match, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's been going a long time, hasn't he, Messi?
Yeah. I wonder how many gold teeth he has. I bet he's got loads.
He can have as many as he liked.
I bet he's got gold toenails.
That's right, yes.
I think so. So let's have a look at some words and phrases very quickly before we go. We're looking at words and phrases connected to game. Game. The word game. Yes, you can see what I've done there. It's almost like I've planned this very moment.
He's not just a pretty face.
I am not just a pretty face. I'm also quite good at tennis sometimes. A game of two halves. When we say that something is a game of two halves, it means that there is a chance that either side could win during that particular time. So instead of it just being one game that takes place over a certain period of time, it is actually a game of two halves, like the match that's taking place now, I suppose.
Right, okay.
So we often think of football matches as a game of two halves, but quite often we will also refer to any situation, maybe if there is a chance that someone can come back and maybe win, or maybe if the score seems to be favouring one team, maybe the other one can come back in the second half. So it is not over because it is a game of two halves, like the game that's taking place today.
It must be coming up to half time. If not, it must be past half time, surely.
Yes, 45 minutes, isn't it normally?
Yes, it must be coming up to half time. Is it half time yet?
They normally add around about 5 or 10 minutes to the game, so that maybe it's going into extra time in the first half. But it's interesting to see what will happen. Very interesting.
Oh, here's a good one from Giovanni. It takes two to tango.
It certainly does.
Yeah. That's a very good phrase. Is it connected with game?
Not really, no. But it is an activity. If you are dancing, you cannot do the tango on your own.
No,
because it is a dance that needs two people.
Yes.
So that is good.
But it's often used as a metaphor, isn't it, for other situations?
Yes.
Often to do with sex.
No, actually.
Well, it can be.
It takes two to tango means one person is as bad as the other person.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So maybe, well, okay. So if we are talking about two people, maybe in a relationship, or maybe if they've done something and people think maybe it's bad or wicked, and maybe they are only blaming one of those people, you might say, oh, no, don't forget, it takes two to tango. They are both as bad as each other.
She had a baby.
What?
out of wedlock.
Okay.
And your response might be, well, it takes two to tango.
Oh.
Because, you can't make a baby on your own.
You certainly can't.
Yes.
Well, a lot of people have tried. The beautiful game is what football is often described as.
Yes.
So when we talk about football, lots of people will say the beautiful game. The beautiful game. I remember, I'm not sure who it was. I want to say Alf Ramsey, who was a very well-known manager. And he said, is important, how important is football? And he said, it's a matter of life and death, or life or death. So football is so important. It is, for many people, a very important thing. And it is often referred to as the beautiful game, which I think is nice.
Yeah.
So that is a phrase that is often used when we talk about football. We describe it as the beautiful game. Here's another one talking about games. Sportsmanship. Sportsmanship. Now, some people might say that this is gender specific. It is, of course. But I suppose a lot of people still use this term, sportsmanship. It means people who are playing fairly. They are playing well. They are playing in a fair way with each other or against each other. Sportsmanship. So maybe you are allowing the other person to take that point because you think they deserve it. You are showing sportsmanship. You are being fair. So both people playing in the match are being fair with each other.
Yes, you're not fouling people or doing something against stretching the rules to your own advantage, for example. You're being sportsmanlike, you could say.
Yes.
Sportsmanship shows that you are being fair when you're playing and you're not bending the rules to make you have an advantage over other people. Are you sporting? You could use that as a when somebody fouls somebody else on the football field, that isn't sportsmanship.
No. So to do something bad or against a competitor is not good sportsmanship. It is bad. It is unfair. So sportsmanship means just to play fairly or how you are playing the game.
I mean, I could bring up a very controversial moment in World Cup history here for people to decide whether how sportsmanlike they thought a particular event that took place in I think it was 1986, wasn't it? World Cup, Argentina. A certain player was, scored a goal.
Is that the player that you thought was still alive earlier?
Yes, the hand of God, as it was described, which of course put us out of the World Cup at the time. That wasn't sportsmanship, was it?
Yes. Well, I think also at the time there had just been the Falkland War as well.
I know.
So it was very politically charged.
It was.
At the time. It was
very politically charged, and it was seen as revenge, wasn't it? At the time?
Okay. To have a sporting chance means you still have your chance to win, or maybe the chance to gain something. So you still have a sporting chance. Maybe if you are applying for a job and there are lots of other people who are equally as able as you are, we can say that you still have a sporting chance. There is still a chance that you will win or you will get the job or the position. So I like that one.
Yes, I mean, so if you've got two teams that are mismatched in terms of their ability, so if you had, for example, in the early parts of the World Cup, you would have had some teams who are not known for being particularly good at football, playing teams that are known for being very good at football. Like Argentina could have been playing Iran, for example, or England, for example, and you might say, well, Iran, England, they don't have a sporting chance. because the other players are so much better than they are. So yeah, they're just adding meat to the bones, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
If you add meat to another point for me, if you add meat to the bones of something in a discussion, it means you add more detail around it.
Yes. Anyway, another one. The game is up.
The game is up.
The game is up. If the game is up, it means whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're trying to do, it will never be achieved. The game is up. We often use this when we are talking about a person who is being pursued by the police. They might capture the person they are looking for. They might have them in a corner, and the police might say, come out, Mr. Smith. The game is up.
They know you're. Yes, it means that you have no defence anymore.
No.
You're caught.
That's it.
You're caught out in something, and people often use that in conversation with people, often in a humorous way. If someone is discovered to have done something, like, for example, I might go into the cupboard. Here's a good example. I might go into our cupboard to look for a chocolate bar, to look for a Kit Kat, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I bought some Kit Kats 2 days ago. So I go into the cupboard, I have a look. There are no Kit Kats in there. I know it must be Mr. Duncan. So I come into Mr. Duncan's studio here, and what do I find on the floor? Empty wrappers from Kit Kats. And I will say to Mr. Duncan, the game is up. I know it was you that ate all those Kit Kat bars.
Well, I suppose it had to be me, because I'm the only other person living here.
That's it. I know, but I'm just using that as an example. If something goes missing,
you don't have to be Einstein.
I know, but I'm just using that as an example to show how you would use that phrase. The game is up. I can see that it was you that did it because there's some evidence.
There is no point resisting or trying to argue. The game is up. We have caught you completely. The game.
Somebody could be on a diet and then they're caught eating crisps secretly.
Here's another thing you might say.
The office.
Okay, Steve.
The game is up.
We're running out of time. Here's another one. So maybe if the game is up, you might also say checkmate. Checkmate. The game is over. I have won. There is nothing you can do to get out of this situation. We use this, of course, in chess. There is, of course, another move that is just check, which is not checkmate. As I understand it, that is just putting you into a position where you have very few options. Is that right? Now, I'm not a chess person, but you can have check and you can have checkmate. So I think they are different things.
I think checkmate is the final one, isn't it?
There is no way back. You have lost. Checkmate. I've always wanted to play chess, but it looks so complicated. It really does.
I can't even play drafts. I've forgotten how to. That's it. Drafts is like backgammon. That's another one, isn't it? Backgammon is a bit of an elitist sort of. I think you've got to be clever to play backgammon, just like with chess. It's all about strategy, isn't it? Outdoing your opponent, thinking several moves ahead.
Yes.
What could they do? If I do that, what could they do? And several moves ahead. And you've got to be quite clever to be good at chess.
So the end of the game, when one person has definitely won and the other one is defeated, they can't move their pieces anywhere. That's it. The game is over. They can say checkmate. That's it.
Yeah.
You've lost.
You could be having an argument with somebody. And it's going to and fro. You've got. I mean, we could be having an argument with somebody about something. Might be a bit of banter, bit of pleasant conversation, and at the end of that, you're both putting in your reasons as to why your argument is better than theirs and what evidence you've got. But in the end, your opponent comes out with something. That it blows you out of the water, and there's nothing you can do to come back.
So they make an argument that is irrefutable.
Irrefutable argument.
You can't argue with that. I have won the conversation, checkmate.
They might say checkmate,
Yes.
and you've got nothing to come back with them to counter their argument because they have won.
Yes. No, Mr. Steve never played chess. He can't even play snakes and ladders, to be honest. Here's another one, game plan. So this is an interesting one. Whenever we approach something where we have to do something in a certain way, maybe a battle, maybe you're going to fight someone, maybe you are up against another person, maybe you are playing in a football team against another team, you might have a game plan. And another word we can use is strategy. Your strategy is your game plan. So the plan that you have, the way you are going to play the game, you have your own way or your own method, your own formula, your game plan, how you are going to play the game, your strategy.
Yes, that's a good strategy is a synonym for that. Somebody might say to you, how are you going to get, your boss might say, how are you going to get all those sales in? You've got a sales target, you've got all these customers. What's your game plan for getting the business in? What's your strategy? What are your plans?
You might also use the word game theory, which is a concept of never trusting the opponent. You have to always assume that the other person is going to try and cheat. So game theory is something that was come up with a long time ago. I think it was come up with, they came up with it during the Cold War, I think. And it's always to mistrust the person you are up against or your opponent. And they call it game theory. Very interesting. Here's another one, Steve. Very similar to checkmate. Game, set and match. Used in
Tennis.
Normally, at the end of the, that's it. When the match has been won completely, we say game, set and match. And a person might say that as a joke to another person if they've lost, but they don't mind losing. Game, set and match. You've got me. You've won. You've beaten me.
Yes, because in tennis, to win a set, you have to win a game. And then if you win enough sets, you win the match.
Yes.
I think it's 5 for men, isn't it, and 3 for women?
I don't know.
So yeah, but game, set and match, it's used as a general sort of phrase to say that you've won or somebody else has won. Game, set and match.
Yes. So we're waiting for the second half, by the way, to start. It will be starting soon.
Yes, it's strange that the numbers have gone up in our viewing figures during the break.
Yes, the half time.
Half time, yes.
Yes.
We'll know when it started because the viewing figures will go down again.
Yes, people will suddenly leave.
But we'll be gone anyway.
They will suddenly leave again. Here's the final one before we leave. Game for a laugh. A person who is game for a laugh. Well, quite often the word game is an interesting word because we can use the word game in many ways. So to be game for something means you are willing to take part in that thing. You are willing to do it. You are game for it. And of course, a game can be something that you have to carry out or do as a strategy, a type of game as well. And there are many games. You can play a sport, a game of sport. You can also play something where you have to use your mind as a game. Maybe you have to find hidden words or something like that. So the word game can be used in many ways.
Yes, I like that one. Are you game? Are you up for it? Are you willing to do this thing? So somebody might say, oh, shall we have a party? Let's invite all our friends. Are you game? Are you up for it? It just means, as you say, you're willing to take part in something that somebody's suggested. It doesn't have to be a sporting game.
No.
It could be anything. It could be organising a party. It could be
any activity.
Yeah, any activity really that somebody suggests.
Good one.
Are you up for it? Are you game?
Yes.
But game for a laugh, that specifically means, that's quite specific, isn't it? Game for a laugh.
Well, that means that you don't mind having fun.
Yes.
You are a person who enjoys having fun, even if that fun is against you as a person. You don't mind. Maybe a person will play a trick on you or a joke on you. It's okay. I am always game for a laugh.
Yeah.
Even if that joke is against me.
You're willing to laugh at yourself.
Yes. So I would say that we are a bit like that. So we are game for a laugh. We don't mind. I will make fun of Mr. Steve. It's very easy to do. And Mr. Steve will make fun of me as well.
Because you're game for a laugh.
Yes.
And so am I. It means you're willing to laugh at yourself, really. And of course, the opposite of that is somebody at work might say, "Oh, shall we make fun of Jeffrey? It's his birthday next week."
Let's face it. Jeffrey does deserve to be picked on because his name is Jeffrey.
So say somebody at work, it's their birthday, and somebody says, "Oh, shall we cover them in flour?"
Really?
Or shall we do something that might have some, shall we throw a cake in his face?
This does not sound like fun.
Yes, or shall we embarrass somebody at work by telling them what their age is or something like that, something that you might do at work or to a friend that might embarrass them if you do it. But somebody else might say, "Well, I wouldn't really." He wouldn't see the funny side of it. He's not game for a laugh. So in other words, that person can't laugh at themselves, finds it difficult to laugh at themselves.
They have very little sense of humour, especially when the joke is on them. Game for a laugh.
Giovanni remembers a phrase you used years ago called a barrel of laughs.
Yes, a person who is always funny, they always make jokes, they are light-hearted, they are jolly, they are a barrel of laughs.
A barrel holds a lot of liquid, so the inference is that there is a lot of, if you've got a barrel full of laughs, that person is got a lot of jokes, is always laughing.
So some people don't mind, some people like having a joke played against them, whilst others don't.
Beatrice says that we say, "Oh, we're joking." Yes, that's it. You can. That's often a response to something that you do that against somebody that's supposed to be funny.
In case you're wondering why the background is strange, it's because it's gone dark outside, so I've turned the camera around, so the background is actually us. You see there is Mr. Steve. You can see. So what is happening behind us is what is happening in front of the background as well. So I know it's a bit confusing. I promise I will never do it again. It's almost time to say goodbye. We will wait until the second half begins. So I wonder if the second half of the football game has started yet. Has it started?
Well, yes, usually. What do they have, about 20 minutes off or something?
Yes, it's normally 15 or 20 minutes.
This will be where the French coach will be probably swearing in French to his players.
He'll be slapping their faces with some onions.
That's it. Telling them to get their asses in gear.
Yes. You stupid team. You should improve. You should improve your kicking. You are not kicking the ball enough. You should improve. You naughty volevants. You are so naughty. Win the match. Win it. Win it for France.
For the honour of France. There's a lot of rivalry that goes on in games, football matches in particular.
I think football, over the years, football has always had a bad reputation for its fans.
It stirs up lots of emotions. And there's lots of rivalry where people and built-in sort of resentments that there are certain teams that are big rivals, aren't they, in the World Cup?
I've just remembered what Alf Ramsey said. I think it was Alf Ramsey. He said, football is not a matter of life and death. It's much more important than that.
That's it. And of course, it is to people. like him who are playing in football
Were.
to everybody else. It's not a matter of life and death, but it is if you're involved in that profession.
I suppose that we all have things we are fans of. I mean, some people, can you believe it, Steve? Some people are fans of us.
Unbelievable. Who is the most? Who would you say is the most successful country in terms of football and the World Cup around the world? Who would you say?
Well, I think
the most successful.
I remember growing up, Brazil was always talked about. Brazil.
Well done, Mr. Duncan.
Yes,
well done.
I would say the South American teams would always produce something.
I believe they've won it 5 times.
Yes. So I think Brazil, Argentina are often countries that people think of when they think of
Germany have won it 3 times.
Football. And yes, I was about to say European countries are the others. And yes, Germany. And I want to say also Portugal, of course. Portugal involved in quite a few controversial moments during the World Cup because of, you know who? Ronaldo.
Have they won the World Cup? Have Portugal ever won the World Cup? Lewis can tell us this.
Yes.
I don't know that. I don't know whether they have or not.
Has Portugal ever won the World Cup? I don't think they have. I don't recall them ever winning the World Cup, even though they have a very good football team.
According to Massimo, Italy have won it 4 times. I didn't know that. That didn't come up on my Wikipedia search earlier. Massimo, I know somebody called Massimo. Are you the same person that I know, Massimo?
Yes.
Who works for a recruitment agency.
Are you willing to admit to it? Are you willing to admit to knowing Mr. Steve in real life?
I shall look up that second name. I don't think you are, but I'm assuming it's... Are you Italian, Massimo? I'm assuming that you are. It looks like an Italian name. Nam Elio. Yes. Then Germany and Italy 4 times. I thought Germany had only won it 3 times. Maybe I'm wrong. That'll be interesting, yes.
I'm just waiting for Mr. Steve to run out of steam.
It's going to take a while today, Mr. Duncan. Has the second half started yet? As soon as it does, we're going. Is that when we're going?
Yes, I think we will go when the second half starts.
That's good.
The reason is because, well, I know what's going to happen. Everyone's going to switch off and watch the end of the match.
It's a popular name, says Massimo.
Because it's the best part of the match for many people, the final half. It's when everything is decided.
It'll be very tough for France to come up from 2-0 down, but if they do, that will be that's going to go down in history as a very spectacular match. I mean, it should be poised for a pretty spectacular second half, should it not, Mr. Duncan?
I think so. I think it's going to be amazing.
This will really show the mettle.
Yes, if I was a football commentator, I would now be saying that, well, first of all, I'd say that France have quite a high hill, a steep hill to climb to get those goals back. So what they have to do now is score 2 goals at least to at least be equal. But I think also they have to get 1 goal ahead to make sure it's decisive. So a decisive win means that it is clear, it is visible, it is obvious, it is decisive. The final point has been scored and that particular team has won.
As Jimmy points out, it ain't over till it's over.
It ain't over till the fat lady sings.
There's another phrase. Yeah, that's it.
It relates to opera.
It does, that's right. So as soon as a large lady comes and sings, then probably the opera's coming to an end. I don't know where that comes from.
It is strange.
But yeah, that is a phrase somebody else used earlier on in the live stream. And yeah, in other words, if you say the phrase, it ain't over or it isn't over till it's over.
Mm.
What you're sort of emphasising there is that there's still a chance for the other team to win. There is still time for that other team. There is 45 minutes for France to potentially score at least 2 goals.
Yes.
And get into a penalty situation.
So the match is not over until it is over, until the final whistle, until the end.
It's you're expressing there the fact that as long as there is some time left, then there is always the opportunity for the other team to come back and win.
Yes.
It's a good phrase to use. If somebody starts jeering at you that your team is losing, and there's 20 minutes left in the game, you can say it's not over till it's over. Anything can happen.
Still a long way to go.
Still a long way to
The
go.
fat lady has not started singing her aria yet,
That's it.
so there is still a long way to go, which I suppose is a good way of describing today's match, because there is still the second half to play. Very interesting.
Please tell us when the second half starts,
Yes.
because I'm hungry and thirsty.
Yes, poor Mr. Steve. Poor Mr. Steve is hungry. He wants something to eat. And also I want something to eat and a cup of tea as well. And tonight we are having chili con carne. I will be back with you, by the way. Now, I'm just trying to think, because we are doing a few things this week, aren't we?
Busy.
I think we will be back with you. We are trying to do as many live streams during December. So we will be back on Tuesday. So not tomorrow. We're not here tomorrow. We will be with you on Tuesday. And then I think Thursday will be the next one. And then I'm hoping we can be with you for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day.
Christmas. You're here Christmas Eve?
Yes, I think we'll do a quick live stream on Christmas Eve.
I won't have time to wrap your presents if we're doing a live stream on Christmas Eve.
It shouldn't take very long.
That's true.
It will only be very small. So hopefully we will be. I'm speaking in tongues now. we will be with you on Saturday, Sunday, Monday next week for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day.
I suppose the question I should have asked is when are you going to have time to wrap my presents?
Ah, well, maybe I've done it already.
Thinking ahead.
I've been very well prepared this year for Christmas, I have to say. Normally, I'm rushing around at this time, really worried.
Well, normally, I've had plenty of time being a person who is at present not currently working. You would have thought that I would have had lots of time to prepare, but in fact, I've found it all becoming a bit of a rush.
Yes.
And because we've got postal strikes, I'm worried that some of your presents that I've ordered won't arrive in time.
On Wednesday, by the way, we're going to see a comedy show.
We are.
In Stafford, the place I used to live, where I was raised.
Well, don't tell everyone where we are, Mr. Duncan. They might come and mob us.
Mob?
For our
Well, it could be anywhere in Stafford. Stafford is quite a big place.
Oh, I'm sure they could probably find out.
No, as long as they don't say it's at the Gatehouse Theatre, we'll be all right. At around 7:30, we'll be okay.
If you want our autographs, that's where we'll be.
So you can come out. You can come and wait outside, and you can scream, "Mr. Duncan, Mr. Duncan, and Mr. Steve, can we have your autographs, please? The good folk of Stafford."
We're not really going there, Mr. Duncan, and we're getting somebody to guard the house while we're away.
No, we're leaving all the doors and windows open.
Yes,
because we need to claim the insurance. So this is a scam. We're trying to cheat our insurance company. So I hope this will not be used as evidence when they refuse to pay.
Shouldn't really tell people where you're going to be, Mr. Duncan.
No, you shouldn't. No. So we're definitely not out on Tuesday night or Wednesday night.
Or Thursday night.
And we're not in Stafford. Definitely not in Stafford.
Definitely not. So
definitely not at 7:30.
Don't fly over from far-flung countries thinking you can steal my Mercedes, because it won't be here anyway.
Well, it won't be here anyway, so
That's true.
It might be parked somewhere in Stafford.
It's not worth that much anyway, because it's nearly 5 years old.
That's it. And people don't want it anyway because it's a Nazi car.
Well,
Yes.
it's not, Mr. Duncan.
Yes,
It's not a car that was made in the 1930s. It was made recently,
yes.
so you cannot claim that what you just said.
His cars actually were purpose made, weren't they? They had, I think the tyres on his Mercedes were bulletproof. How do you have bulletproof tyres? That's incredible, isn't it? I think they were solid. So instead of them having air inside, I think they were actually solid.
Well, of course, I have to have a bulletproof car.
Although I suppose if you are the leader of the Nazi Party, you're not going to be very popular. Let's face it.
It's not the tyres he should have been worried about. It's the fact that he used to stand up, and there was no protection around him when he was standing up in his car. What's
his
car?
Mercedes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Is that before or after they joined Benz? Was Benz there before? Because Benz was
It might come in later.
was another company, wasn't it?
Yes, there were probably rival companies.
Which is why they have Mercedes-Benz. It's actually two companies that amalgamated and became one. Has the football started yet?
Please, has the football started?
Yes.
They're not going to tell us, are they? Because they want us to stay on.
I think someone is playing a joke.
Understandably, of course.
I'm sure the match must have started.
Do you think so?
Yes. It's 20
past.
There is no way on earth that the match has such a long break.
My legs are giving way. My hips are aching, Mr. Duncan.
Poor Mr. Steve.
Because I've had to stand here for, nearly 2 hours.
Well, I think it's fair to say, Mr. Steve, that it looks as if Argentina are going to be the winners. They are going to be victorious.
Well,
and it looks as if poor old France are going to have to get a cream gâteau in their face. Unfortunately.
Yes, Rosa, we are going to be here on Christmas Day. And I hold up quite a hope that we will get quite a high viewership on Christmas Day.
Shall we open some of our gifts or one of our gifts on the live stream on Christmas Day?
Depends whether you're game for a laugh or not, Mr. Duncan. Haha, did you see? I got that phrase in there.
I saw what you did.
Yes, are you game for a laugh? We will be here. We don't know how long. It depends on how many of you wish to join us.
Yes.
But we will definitely be here.
I don't think anyone will watch, but we might get 5.
Well, I mean, people have foregone watching the football match. If you forego something, it means you give something up, doesn't it?
Yes, it means you are sacrificing one thing for another.
Yes, they have foregone watching the football match to watch our live stream.
Yes. So
Thank
you for making the sacrifice today. Instead of watching the football, you've decided to watch us. I can only say one thing, and that is thanks.
And with that, I will go off into the kitchen. We haven't had confirmation yet that the match has restarted, but I'm assuming it is. Now that's going to be a difficult choice for us, Mr. Duncan. Are we going to watch Colombo after this live stream, which we normally do, or are we going to watch the World Cup final, second half?
I don't think I'm going to watch the football. Ironically, I'm not that interested.
Well, I feel like watching it now. But,
okay, well, go and watch it then.
I might do. I'll probably fall asleep though. Right, lovely to see you all. I'm going off into the kitchen to put the kettle on, and I'm also hungry. So I'll see you on Tuesday. I should be here Tuesday, if only for a brief moment, but I will be here. I'm not going to promise anything at this stage.
You are adding many, many more minutes to this live stream.
Well, I'm just waiting for confirmation that the match has restarted.
I think it started.
Has it restarted? Yes or no? Please tell us. I think it's probably halfway through. They're just trying to keep us hanging on.
If you're watching the replay, by the way, that's it. Just click off now if you're watching the replay. Nothing else is going to happen now. That's it. It's the end, basically.
Bye, everyone. See you on... I've got to be careful how you say that, Mr. Duncan. If you say you're going to see somebody on Tuesday or Thursday, you've got to be very careful how you word the phrase. See you on Tuesday is very different to saying see you next Tuesday or see you next Thursday. Is a very, rude word.
Is
if
it?
you take the first letter of some of those words. If you want to really upset somebody, say to them,
You're upsetting me at
see
the
you
moment.
next Tuesday or see you next Thursday. You are actually saying to them a very, very rude word. Just think about that.
Okay. Thanks, Mr.
Does
Steve.
anybody else know that? Yeah, but
Yeah.
if anybody says that to you,
Yeah.
they're probably
Mm.
insulting you
Yeah.
in the most profound way.
Ah. So, Mr. Steve, I will see you next Tuesday.
Look at that, it's 59th.
Mr. Steve is very surprised. He can't believe that it's dark outside. It is dark outside because it's night time, unfortunately. It is now night time. Go away. We don't need that again, do we? We don't need that again. It's time to go, unfortunately. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. It's been interesting. It's been different. It's been long. Some people might say it's been too long. See you on Tuesday, 2 p.m. UK time, and I will be back with you then. Hopefully, I will see you later on, and we will join together once more. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on Tuesday from 2 p.m. UK time. It looks as if Argentina are going to win. Congratulations. Sadly, France, maybe next time. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. See you later. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Ta-ta for now.